Before we get into this episode, make sure you're subscribed to our channel. You can hit the notification button so you can get updated weekly on all of our latest content. Thank you so much for watching. And as always, tell us what you want to see next below.
What are the benefits of fasting like that?
There's 10 million benefits. I mean, it's the #1 longevity metric of all time is caloric restriction. So where do I begin? I mean, I can talk about the holy autophagy, but just...
Well, I think we've covered that on the show. And by the way, this is, I'd love to go into the holy autophagy with you, but this is, how many times have you been on the show now? I was trying to, because it's hard for me to recollect.
4?
No, it's way more than that.
More. I think maybe 5.
Oh, is this 5?
Maybe 4 or 5 for sure.
Powerful number.
But I was looking and I was just, when we were starting, and it says that you were not on since 2023. That can't be right. You didn't come on in 2024 at all?
I didn't come on 2024.
Weird.
You know why? We had a falling out, guys. And, we became rivals. No, look, I love coming here. I love talking to you guys. You guys are friends of mine. We're from the same hood. We're from San Diego, and we have a lot of fun, and we're helping a lot of people. And so we can get into all kinds of crazy stuff. What's streaming for me right now is just the gratitude that I have for this life. I'm just really like in this like embodiment of blessing every moment, every breath, and this like mentality that the things we're doing every day is not a chore. It's actually a God-given right to do it. Like walking your dog or making your coffee or making your Cymbiotika formulations on the rise. The fact that I'm like in my body, healthy, can stand, can move, can think, fully awake, all of those things I don't take for granted. And, there's some interesting quantum information going around that you are 1 in a trillion chance of being you based on just looking at the science and the evidence. Just thinking about like being 1 in trillions and the opportunity to be alive and healthy right now in this moment in time is just astounding to me. So I'm living with this like utmost gratitude. I'm so appreciative of the life that I have. I also am aware that there's so many people struggling out there right now. And I'm talking about 1 in trillions as far as the microcellulars of us coming together being human. But what about the people in this world right now that are, struggling in pain and confusion, stress, all the things that are happening right now. And so I have a lot of gratitude for being here with you guys, talking about health, talking about spiritual activation, talking about things that you can do every day to sharpen your blade. This is the greatest gift anyone could offer me. And so I'm here to go all in.
Every time Michael opens his eyes in the morning, I look at him and I say, "You're lucky to be in my presence."
See, there it is.
and I just feel like you should have immense gratitude to make me coffee every morning and fluff my pillow.
That's how I get through the day. I keep telling myself.
I totally agree with you. I feel like there's so much gratitude and positivity in the little tiny moments.
Well, I mean, like the reason I get confused about when we last spoke to you is because we see you socially. And so it gets, when we have all these conversations off the podcast, so I couldn't remember the last time, but I feel like you've always been this way. No, maybe just more of it right now. Like I like being around you because you're always positive and you always like when we have interactions, you always leave feeling like good about that interaction. You
never feel drained.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. I think, there's just a lot of stuff that is happening in my life right now that, I'm really coming to a place of just humbleness and humility. We get caught up in the everyday traffic of life. I've been literally living in a plane for the last like 12 months, going back and forth at our facility, our research and development lab, building out all these SKUs, building out all this incredible formulations that we're bringing to Cymbiotika. And there was a moment there where I was feeling a little bit of like a victim. I wasn't being able to do the things that I wanted to do. I wasn't able to take, offers to go and have experiences all throughout the world. I had a responsibility to our organization and to the family of Cymbiotika and to so many people out there. And there was a minute minute where I felt like a victim. And I had to experience that victim and really just wash over that and look at things from a relative space of observation and realize that this is a God-given gift to be able to be in this position and to study science and physiology and life and health and all the things at a real level, not some greenwashing bullshit level. I'm talking about really getting in there. And I don't take it for granted. It's just like I don't take you guys for granted for what you guys are doing. I see what you guys are doing and you guys are the best ever. You're crazy. You're wild. Thank God. Just the whole norm stuff is just is ridiculous. But you're also doing it in a way where there's authenticity to it. It's not just trying to be polarizing. So I appreciate that.
Well, listen, we appreciate you saying that. And I think what's interesting for us doing this show is you sometimes lose sight of the fact that this conversation we're having in this intimate room, there's 5 of us in this room, right? And when you have the conversation, you kind of forget later what's going to happen with it and where it's going to go and who's going to see it and who's going to impact.
Yep.
But I think what I always tell people is Lauren and I started doing this because we wanted to speak to interesting, exciting people that were doing things that we either didn't have awareness of or didn't know more about, or like we're curious about ourselves. And we want to have that conversation the way that I would have it with you if we were at dinner. So we don't know how to almost curate that experience. There's things you learn as in an entertainment to build a great show. But I think sometimes for people that are observing us, they forget that we're just talking to people that we are excited to talk to.
Yeah.
And we're just being ourselves.
And I think that's why the audience receives you guys so well, because it's so relatable. It's authentic. It's not scripted. I mean, we had no idea what we were even going to get into today. Yeah. And I don't think we ever do.
You know what I mean?
I think
that's why.
Does
that make you nervous?
No, I mean, I'm not nervous. Go berserk. Go all in. I think channeling and streaming consciousness comes from another place. It's not coming from a file cabinet that's stored. I've been reading the holographic universe and the quantum field. We're streaming information and it's coming from the heart. So every time I have 50 things to talk about, and just never comes out right. And that's the beauty of having a real authentic conversation, a fireside chat, if you will.
What does it look like when you, who has all the tools, notices that you're being a victim? What's the inner talk?
First, there's a little bit of sadness that comes with it, that immediate anger and resentment. How could you feel this way? How could you be in a position where you're at right now to even feel like a victim? Look at what you have. Then I go into the inner child work. And so I've been doing something called compassionate inquiry. It's been expanding my soul over the last, I would say, 6 weeks. A beautiful soul named Danette that actually lives in Texas has been walking me through that. This is really a path forward or a path backward to talk to your inner child.
How does it work?
It's through a type of hypnosis where you experience and view your 5, 7, 9-year-old self, depending on where there's trauma or wounds or anything that can create a sense of pain and loss. And ultimately, I literally was staring at my 7-year-old and he was communicating with me a lot of pain and shadow that he was feeling in the midst of turmoil within my family life. And these are things that I knew consciously were there, but I knew it was unconscious, but consciously I stayed away from it because I'm like, I'll get to it at some point. I'll find a reason to get there at some point. But it's been a burden. I feel it in my bones. I feel it in my soul. And by doing that kind of work, it's allowed me to really breathe out a lot of tightness that I felt in my soul, probably somewhere in my body. And it's been a lot of crying, a lot of expanding. Look, a lot of people go and, work with shamans. They go into the entheogenic world, whether that's, in the jungles or, in guided places. That's another strategy as well. These are all coming together. But I think this compassionate inquiry work might be one of the most important acts of self-love that we can do, especially if you're ready to go all in. And so this, you asked me, what do I feel? I'm feeling triumph, now that I can get through that hurdle of being able to feel that level of victimhood and not get angry at myself now and know where that's coming from. And instead of just putting up another wall or stepping into masculinity or stepping into an alpha energy, I'm able to empathetically allow myself to open up and feel.
I think there's nothing hotter than when a guy can tap into his feminine. And I've realized this, that my dad is masculine. And if you saw him, he's masculine, but he can tap into his feminine. And same with you.
I'm very masculine.
No, you do. You are masculine. You're very dominant. You're very assertive. He's very alpha. But there is a feminine side of him that he's comfortable tapping in with. There is something really attractive about a really alpha dominant man being able to step into his femininity. Well, I think it's awesome.
To your point, I think it really becomes very hard to maintain that masculine, tough energy all the time, especially when things around you are tough or when there's actual turmoil in your past or in your present. not being willing to look at that and kind of go inward and say like, hey, I don't feel good about this, or I'm sad, or like need to cry. Like I think that over time really takes a toll if you don't kind of look and figure that stuff out.
I agree. And I love your points. You know, I would beg you to look at the perspective that it's not dualistic in terms of masculine and feminine. It's not sun and moon, light and dark. It's so much deeper than that. The feminine energy is actually so much stronger than softness. It's, you know, you guys are the void of where soul's coming out of the body. You know, the feminine, or that energy, that archetype, is one of the strongest frequencies that can hold so much more than an alpha or something that is a protector or a rager. It's deep. There's darkness to it in a beautiful way. And so when I'm tapping into that section, I'm opening up a whole nother level of my soul that is beyond just the dualistic archetypes of masculine, feminine. I actually see the feminine as the deeper power, and I'm humbled by it. And it's not a soft thing. It's not a girly thing. It's actually just a power.
I know that you guys don't do jack shit, if that's what you're trying to say. I'm well aware that the woman does everything.
You certainly do.
This pregnant, I can tell you, when he wakes up every morning and gives me an update monologue narration on his back pain.
Hey, it's real back pain.
And I'm
Poor guy.
6,000 months pregnant. I can tell you, I agree with you.
See, I mean, I worship that energy. You know, that is.
I need more worship.
Yeah.
Here, you come over and worship for a while. I'm tired.
I got your back. I'll lift. But no, I mean, you said it right there. I mean, we can't even comprehend what you do to bring life into this world.
No, but you know what? Like, I get irritated when she tries to get me to comprehend, because I'm like, listen, now if you want to tap into the masculine, like, well, I'm not going to try to think as a woman, because I'm not a woman and it's impossible. I'm not like, and if I did say, I know how you feel and I get it, and I like, my back hurts too, like, you're going to be even angrier. Like, there's no way for us to know what that's not our biology.
I don't think I can intellectualize it. There's moments where I can feel it, like kind of how I just said it and how you're saying it. But at the end of the day, we don't have that embodiment to fully grasp it. We can just kind of do the work to get us closer and closer. And I think with communication, and really, you know, you guys are a union. The whole point of the union is being mirrors for each other. That's how you guys grow and expand and grow and expand, is to really like understand and compromise and receive each other. You know, and it's almost become psychic phenomenon now. You know, I heard that with my dad. You know, Shahab is always talking about that. He says he's psychically connected to Durana. He's psychically connected to his kids. His kids know if things are going bad with the parents. They feel into all this. You know, this isn't woohoo stuff. This is literally, you know, quantum entanglement that we're dealing with today, that has been proven over and over through scientific literature and experiments.
I think the next thing, I put it in quotes, is going to be being in alignment with yourself and your nervous system.
Yeah.
I think those two things you're going to hear about in the next 2 years all the time. I think people are going to realize the biggest flex is being so aligned with yourself and so comfortable with your nervous system. What is your vibe on that?
Well, I mean, this is, you're saying that's new? That's old news. But you're saying it's becoming more mainstream?
Not just mainstream. I think there's an awareness, like some people are going to go to 5D with it.
No. Okay.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like it's like
I went to 5D with it, and it reminds me.
See?
You guys know that I had a near-death experience with a rattlesnake bite, right?
No.
Did I ever tell that story here?
No.
When? Not recently.
August 21st, 2017.
Okay, no,
I didn't know that.
Okay, so that was the beginning day of my Dark Night of the Soul. It was the Solar Eclipse Festival at Symbiosis up in Oregon Eclipse. It's a huge pre-Burning Man festival, 100,000 people in the Oregon forest. I was warned not to go to that festival by Vedic astrologers, saying that you don't want to be nowhere near an eclipse. You want to go underground. You want to be nowhere near it. That's how the Vedics believed. Eclipses are kind of like an upload in the software of whatever this system is. And I went and I spoke at the event. I had 3 speaking gigs. It was a total crazy experience, and I got drastically sick. I had never been sick before. During that day, and by the way, August 21st is my mom's birthday. And my mom is my greatest medicine and my greatest teacher. And all my trauma revolves kind of around the mother-son conflict. And so that's a whole nother story. But anyways, I got extremely sick, couldn't walk, didn't know what was going on with me. And mind you, I'm like
sick, cold, virus sick.
Virus attack, spinal attack. Something had released. It was an energetic thing and I was sick. I couldn't walk. I got back to Orange County, couldn't walk for 2 weeks, retreated into my own world, didn't talk to anyone. Right at that time, find out my dad's cancer had come back. It had metastasized to his lungs. So I'm sick, just find out it metastasized. And then 2 weeks later, right before me and him, I'm starting to feel better. I can walk again. Me and him are supposed to go up to Oregon to go look at some land. I go out for one hike. I'm picking sage, Divinorum white sage, and I get bit by a juvenile rattlesnake.
Where?
Right here on my right index finger.
Oh shit.
And I immediately pulled my hand back and I said, what just happened? And all of a sudden I heard the rattle. And I looked through the sage, and sure enough, it's a juvenile rattlesnake in the S position. And if you guys know, I have snakes. I've had snakes my whole life. I have all kinds of pythons at my house. I know snakes. I'm almost like a quasi-herpetologist.
Did not know this, but something new about you every day.
Literally every time I see you, it's like I'm a scientist. I'm a rocket ship. I'm a plant. Like
you don't see my videos with my snakes and my pythons.
I've never seen your snake.
Okay, all right.
I don't think Instagram's serving you, by the way, but we'll get to that. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I know.
I haven't seen you on my Instagram lately. That's interesting.
Of course.
Go ahead.
And in that moment, so rattlesnakes release a hemotoxin. Stops your blood from coagulating. And they're not like pythons. They're not constrictors. They don't burrow you with strength and wrestle you and break your ribs and suffocate you and then swallow you. They're like little assassins with two hypodermic needles, and they just inject and they run away and they wait for whatever marsupial they just hit to die, and then they come and swallow you. And I know all this. I'm sitting there on the trailhead in Laguna Beach, up on the mountain. I'm just coming back into my body after being sick, after hearing about my dad. And in that moment, we're talking about nervous system, I knew, and I know this, juvenile rattlesnakes are immature. They don't hold their toxic load the same as an adult. They drop it all sometimes, and they're notorious for that. And it got me in the hand. It didn't get me in the foot. The hand is really close to my heart. And so all of these factors, as you know, science is just playing in my head. And then all of a sudden I felt every adrenaline drip hit. I felt my fight flight, I could feel it. And I knew in that moment, if I keep this going, I'm in deep, deep trouble. I'm already sick. I'm underweight. I'm going through all this emotional problem. And I just got lit up by a juvenile rattlesnake in my hand. And I'm on my own. And in that moment, instead of freaking out and going crazy, I sat in Shavasana and went deep into my Qigong meditation. Deep, holotropic, diaphragmatic breaths. I slowed my heartbeat down to like 50 beats. I brought my nasal breathing, belly breaths, 2 breaths a minute, and did that for about 4 or 5 minutes. And the whole time I'm streaming that this was nature's vaccine, that the rattlesnake was dropping some kind of codes. You know how people do combo frog medicine and whatever. It was, was giving me some type of immunological response, and it was an ancient master. This is where my mind's at. This is the practice. And all of a sudden, my nervous system just relaxed, and I was calm. And then all of a sudden, after 3-4 minutes of that, I was ready to make decisions and know what the next step was. It was around that time that my mouth started to taste metallic, and my chest started to tighten, and my hand was starting to turn into a grapefruit. It was coming on fast. My point is, this is why that triggered that memory, is because having your vagus nerve connected to your soul, meaning you're able to manipulate the vagus through intention, not through reaction, is critical for all of us. It's just as important as our circadian rhythm. It's just as important as our VO2 max. It's just as important as our exomuscular muscular skin, how our body adapts to stress, how we lift things. It's just as important as Caloric restriction, it's just as important as hydration, mineralization, optimal food, microbiome, sunlight, grounding, proper sleep hygiene, all of it. I can go on and on and on. One of the most important things is how well versed we handle stress on a daily basis, on a daily practice, and when it really counts, when your life is on the line.
So when you were able to calm down, then you just figured out what help you needed to get. And what did you do? You had to go get like an antivenom or go to the hospital?
This is where the next trouble began.
Can you suck it out?
No, you cannot suck it out.
You can't suck it in your mouth and spit it out?
No. That's
Okay.
kind of a wives' tale. You can't pee on it. You can't do any of those things. I mean, if you get hit by a, something else maybe, but not a rattlesnake.
Okay.
Rattlesnake, that was injected into me.
Okay.
And it was injected deep. So I eventually called the paramedics. I didn't know if my blood was going to stop coagulating. I was already sick. I didn't want to lose my hand. You know what I mean?
From infection or whatever?
Who knows? It becomes sepsis and just necrotic tissue. I've seen videos of rattlesnake bites. There's chunks of body parts missing. People die from this stuff. And so I called, and Hoag Hospital started reconstituting the anti-venom. And I went over there, and there was like 10 doctors, and it was like a big deal for them. They haven't had a rattlesnake bite in a while. And the whole time I was like in deep calm. They thought I was like on drugs or something. And I wanted none of their pain relievers. I wanted none of that stuff. And they ended up giving me 3 vials of antivenom. And that's where my trouble really began, because antivenom is loaded with thimerosal, which is, mercury. I ended up getting acute mercury intoxication. And for the next 8-9 months, as I'm trying to save my dad's life and I'm in the middle of building Cymbiotika, I couldn't even form a sentence.
Well, and the stress of, I know how close you were with your dad. Like your whole system was probably just fucked up.
I couldn't form a sentence, Michael.
Yeah.
I couldn't think.
So what do you do?
My muscles were twitching. I wasn't sleeping. I was literally I was falling apart. And
the antivenom saved your life. So
did it? I don't know.
Oh,
maybe they overdid it. I don't know what it is. Maybe they need to start realizing that mercury, to crack the cell wall, is basically destroying the myelin sheath. It's causing transcription factors to not communicate properly throughout my brain stem. It was a disaster. Mercury is a disaster. It has no part of being around humanity. It needs to be deep in the earth. It can't be in your mouth. It can't be in your amalgams. It can't be in any of those things. Mercury is a complete, utter disaster to the human body. And so I had an attack on my central nervous system. And for the next 8-9 months, I was in trouble. I was completely disabled.
You've told me about the mercury issue, but I didn't realize it initiated because of the antivenom.
Yeah.
So what did you do?
I had no mercury in my mouth. I had removed any metal in my mouth 3 years prior.
What did you do to get the mercury out of your system?
Chelation, deep chelation.
You need to speak English. What does chelation mean? Sometimes I have to ask.
Covalent ionic bonding of materials that bind to heavy metals in the body and then pull them out of the body. And it's a very dangerous thing to do if you're not doing it right and you're not doing it with the right group and you don't have your lymphatic systems running, you don't have your kidney function running, and your adrenal systems are not operating properly, which are the batteries on top of the kidneys. So I went through chelation, I went through IV chelation, I did oral chelation with herbs and all kinds of stuff. And ultimately, after I feel like I got a lot of that out, I then had to rebuild my nervous system. And that started with peptides and amino acids and proteins and, brain games, static brain games. Constantly had to think about things. It's like we're if you don't use it, you're going to lose it, right?
So you guys asked me, what do I mean about people not knowing about the nervous system? People have not gone 5D with the nervous system yet. This is what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You went, the reason it feels
I went
like
12D.
You went 12D. The reason you feel like this is old news is because you've been there, done that. But I feel like there's going to be an awareness in the next couple of years of people who don't have that.
What she's saying is there's
especially with where we're at with technology and the technocratic system and the fact with AI and the fact that everybody is now just on the device. I think we need to be educated. Mm-hmm. I think we need to step out of our comfort zone. I think we need to create hormetic stressors in our life, right? That just we're not just laying down all day long and feel like everything is good and everything's hand fed to us, but to be part of an energy where you're constantly thinking that everything is out to get you and everything is out to kill you, you're going to lose no matter what.
Yeah, I don't like to live in a world where I'm scared of everything in the world.
Yeah.
Right. And I don't want to go through the exercise of like, I don't want to be the guy that goes out with a group of friends and like I'm bothering the kitchen. Like, is there a seed oil? Like I'm going to order. If I'm a little bit unsure, there's certain things I'm going to order, but I'm not going to lose my shit every single day and not be able to live. And I think that's like a lot of that fear is being pushed, which I don't agree with. Like
if I hear another seed oil thing on social media, I'm going to go crazy. We get it. The seed oils, we get it. Yep. The trans fats, we get it. That it's causing lipofuscin in the skin. We get it. We get it. Can we just move on to the next topic? That's another thing where it's like, these things are getting stale and it's like, it's getting tired. And I say this publicly and people are like, well, you're just thinking about you and your crew and your committee. What about, there's people that need to hear this. I'm like, okay, but this has been regurgitated for years. Let's go next level.
But what I want,
like,
for the majority of people, what I want them to do before they even go down the rabbit hole of all of that stuff, the Tupperware they're using, the seed, and listen, all the stuff that we do and we avoid, it's like, I want them to sleep well. I want them to exercise well. I want them to have sex with their spouse or their partner. I want them to get their hormones. Like there's things that like the big things.
How's your sex life right now?
I mean? but you get what I'm saying? It's the big things. If you take care of the big things,
talking about Lucky Michael,
that guard your body against the small things, then the small things become small things. But if you're not doing any of the big things, and then you're just crying about seed oils, like
if your sleep hygiene's terrible, if you have terrible relationships and your top 7 people that you spend the most time with, either emotionally or physically, if you're drinking and bathing in terrible water, if you are not doing 15,000 steps a day and have a weight training protocol and building, strength, if you're insulin resistant and you're waking up and you have high blood pressure, over 110 is high blood pressure. If you're, not having reserves in your body to siphon the glucose in your body into the muscles and where they belong, forget about all the other stuff.
That's what I'm saying.
We're like, we can go down the rabbit hole of parasite cleansing and all those things, which are really important and critical. But if you're missing like the key components, then you're just chasing your own tail. I agree with that 100%.
Let's give the audience some tactical takeaways that they can do to improve their nervous system.
Well, I think the first thing is everybody should just start loving the idea of singing every rise.
What?
Singing? Just waking up and singing?
Like singing.
Like singing. Like, ah.
No, this is where it's going to go.
I actually have a really good voice.
I believe it.
And I really can sing the sound of music like no other.
Oh, I love the sound of music. That's a childhood trigger for me.
Which one is the sound of music? Which
one? Me and Zaza in town sing in the
a dear.
We sing it we have a whole dance. My kids and I in the shower.
La 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 la.
Yeah, they sing that.
It's a literal dance. All of us singing this song.
Singing creates an acoustic channel in the body that stimulates. It's a vagal tone. That's why singers have to belt it. That's why like after they sing, it's like they've just sat in the jungles for 5 weeks. You know what I mean? They are resetting their entire nervous system. The vagus nerve runs from the top cranial down to the lower colon. It's an information highway with little microbial, it's attached to microbes and vesicles and all these things. If we're not stimulating the vagus nerve, then our CNS is not communicating properly and we can't turn off fight, flight, autonomic systems and stuff like that. So one of the best ways is gargling water on the rise, humming.
This is so weird that you say this to me. Because during my meditations, I just started naturally humming when I got pregnant. I've been humming and I didn't know why I was doing it. It's soothing.
Your beautiful child is floating in the ocean within you right now. And the fact that you're humming and creating that vibratory hertz, that field, is going directly into the child. That's not woo-woo.
I literally was humming today. It's like the vibration feels good when you're meditating.
Of course. Huh. Yeah. And especially when you're generating it yourself. Like you can listen to binaural beats and go into sound baths and all those things. Those are phenomenal. But to be able to generate it yourself through humming and singing, also, nasal breaths, like really deep diaphragmatic breath, all of these things, just tell yourself, okay, I'm going to rise. I'm going to get 5 minutes of proper breathing and proper humming. I'm going to gargle some water. I'm going to stimulate that. I'm going to do that twice a day for the next 6 months. That's a gift you're offering yourself. And after about a week or two, trust me, you'll start noticing the results. What you're going to notice is that things that normally stress you out, things that you might be reacting to that's causing a cortisol spike, which then stimulates other hormones, which then takes your body into fight flight, which then might screw up your insulin situation. All of these things matter. And then how you sleep and the foods you're reaching for and all these things are coping mechanisms. You could reset it all just by being in your body. There should be a fund that sponsors and creates an avenue for certain townships and cities where family and children can get involved on a financial level to build medium-sized farms, where a specific farm is supporting a radius of certain distance, and every single distance has a farm that's supporting that township.
And what do you think that would do outside of provide organic, fresh food?
It's limitless.
Grounding, it puts your hands in the ground. It's good.
A
guy that chops wood is so hot. You want to turn me on? Get the fucking wood chopper out and the axe and chop the wood in the morning. You could chop some wood, take care of the ducks, get your eggs. There's a million things.
There's a billion
things. It's good for circadian rhythm.
Everything.
The kids are outside. What do you mean? What's it good for?
Also empathy. It develops empathy in children so they know the hard work that goes into the food.
Yes.
That's the whole thing about Rudolf Steiner and biodynamic farming. You guys know I'm a biodynamic farmer. Cymbiotika was built on the concepts of biodynamics. And what is biodynamics? It's not just an esoteric version of how to grow food and connecting to the waxing and waning of the moon and understanding the cosmology and understanding soil science and biodynamic preparations, and then ultimately creating the best bioavailable food on earth. No, it's about connecting children to the earth, getting them exposed to the ritual of growing food and the nurturing of it, not just planting the seed and then going off on another field trip. I'm talking about nourishing that seed throughout the process and being there till it fruits and gives you the fruits of everything. That value to townships, to cities, ultimately to states, it changes everything. That needs to be the number one thing in soil science, because I had this crazy dream. This is going to be in the book that I'm writing. I was walking in a mountain or a rolling hills cemetery of buffalo, and I was barefoot, and it was dark and smoldering, and all the skeleton remains of the buffalo were smoldering and smoking, and I'm like, my feet are burning, and I'm in this dream, and I look in the distance, and there's just one white buffalo just trotting, confused, looking for its family. And I woke up. This was like about a year and a half ago. And I immediately had this like download. Wow, what did we do to the buffalo in North America? What did we do?
We eviscerated them.
We completely murdered, annihilated 7 million buffalo.
Why?
Because complete Ahrimanic mentality of stripping them for goods, having no connection to source, no connection to God. It was just a feast or famine. Just take everything you can, complete commercialization, everything, just destroyed it. And you know what the buffalo was doing to North America? The buffalo was stomping the entire topsoil and pooping and biotics and creating an entire earth to sustain the best food of all time. And it also sustained our hydrological cycle, because our rainfall is completely dependent on our soil and our aquifers and how all of these things happen. I feel like America's in the karma right now of destroying North America, from fracking to what they did to the buffalo. And so I'm having visions of this. It's so powerful. I mean, that's a whole nother podcast, but this speaks to us gaining our faculties, putting our feet in the earth as parents and as families and as children, and starting the farm over again and teaching the kids, how does soil science work? Why are we not using commercial fertilizers like nitrogen and phosphorus, NPK and all that crap? Why? Let's encourage the manure and bring back the holy cow and start this process again. The microbiome of your entire GI tract, from your mouth all the way down, is designed and replicated through the soil.
Yeah. And we've covered on this podcast before, like there's so many people are mineral and magnesium deficient because of the soil that we have. And that's why we're supplementing with a million things, because we don't get what we need.
Cymbiotika was birthed because of what we've done to our world. We shouldn't be having to take a supplement. We should be getting all our nutrition from the sunlight, from spring water, from digging in the earth, and all of those, bacteria getting into our body, getting into our eyes, getting into our nose, populating our entire nervous system through the GI. We've separated all that. We don't have that anymore. In fact, we have the opposite of that. We have fungicide, herbicide, all the different, glyphosate. I can go on and on. I just had to fight Laguna Beach Council not to spray the canyons of Laguna Beach with glyphosate as part of their fire mitigation program. They wanted to spray my canyons where I live in with glyphosate, a broad spectrum antibiotic that goes downstream into everything, into the ocean, into the kids. I went berserk on them.
What'd you do?
I went to town council. I went off.
What'd you say?
I told them, I said, I'm embarrassed to be a Laguna Beach resident. I came here because Laguna Beach is supposed to be an environmental, oasis. Everyone here is supposed to be on the level. We stand as a community. We understand nature. Laguna Beach is a reserve. There's no commercial farming in Laguna. That's why the ocean there is so rich in diversity and all kinds of stuff. Yet your fire mitigation program is spraying a broad spectrum glyphosate that we know is the root cause of all kinds of pathologies. What the hell? It's 2024. How did we get here? I was embarrassed.
So what'd they do?
They didn't do it. And I was so proud because there was 30, 40 Laguna Beach residents that showed up. 80% of them were mothers. And I was one of the people that spoke, and those mothers, they put it down. And I was just, that day I felt really proud to be a resident there, and they figured out another solution. Look, I don't know if you guys seen videos from my backyard. Dude, we have a Peruvian goat herder that brings 800 goats and just eats up all the, the weeds and all the different California, growth out there. That's your mitigation.
Hold on. Wait. You have a Peruvian
Sherpa. He's a Sherpa.
Okay, do I need to get that? Where do I get that?
No, it's a guy that brings goats to do this.
It comes and eats all the canyons because, we have some major rainfall, and all of a sudden you have all this material, and that's birding material. I get it. Fires are a real thing in Southern California.
Great.
Look what we just dealt with.
I'm understanding. So you bring the goats there to eat
and they clear it out.
And they clear everything out. And I'm like, so bring more goats.
Oh, the goats are your landscapers.
They are. They're the landscapers. They eat up all the fire material.
Why does it have to be a Peruvian goat herder?
That's just who it is.
Okay, it's just so specific.
It could be.
No, I'm not saying we got to get one.
Okay.
No, he exists. He's been doing this for a decade in Laguna Beach.
Do you prefer a specific ethnicity or?
No, I don't prefer any. I didn't know that.
He's from Peru.
Okay. What's your relationship to your phone? Because I cannot believe the phone relationship that's going on right now. And I'm not, by the way, calling anyone out. I'm to blame as well. So what's right now your phone's in front of you. What's your relationship? Because I think that it makes the nervous system way worse.
I think we don't take for granted what the phone represents. The phone is a immediate access point to you from anyone all over the world. We're not designed as humans to be able to be tapped on the neck by someone from anywhere. We're only supposed to be able to communicate with people that are in our presence.
I'd love a carrier pigeon.
Yeah, the carrier pigeon would work much better.
Message in a bottle.
Yeah, there you go. Lord of the Rings or Game of Thrones. And so I'm very wary of that. For me, it's tough because of what we're doing at Cymbiotika. I have to be present. This isn't a 9-to-5 gig for me. This is my life. Me and Shahab actually talk about this all the time. We don't sleep necessarily with freedom because we're constantly under some form of stress because there's something going on, especially when you're pushing this hard in terms of quality and raw materials. And the strength of that puts you in a position where you have to be ready all the time. And then you factor all these other things. So the phone to me is a pain in my fucking ass. And it's a disaster upon epic proportions, but it's a necessary evil. But let me tell you, I have visuals of throwing it into the ocean, but I'll probably not do that. I'll probably bury it and do some type of ceremony around that. Other than that, the phone is a constant radiation device. This is not a toy. When I see, women running around with the phones in their sports bra, or men putting it in their pocket and it's not on airplane mode,
or bringing it near children's heads,
bring it around near children's heads that haven't even formed, solid barrier, because it's still.
Can you go like a little deeper into that?
Yeah, I mean, the phone, especially the phones today, especially with all the ground towers and the strength of the radio waves, we're dealing with non-natives that we've never seen before, at least in this, like, whatever this timeline is, this epoch. And that's causing a major disturbance to our mitochondrial field and our electrical field. Our body's running on a perfect sync from our brain system and our central nervous system of protons, neutrons, and electrons. We're an electrical body before we're a chemical body. And that's why we ground to the earth. That's why we photobiomodulate with red light and sunlight. These are electrical things. Mitochondria is the little batteries, that powerhouse of every cell. They're the ones that generate energy through ATP and all these things like that. Radioactive devices and electromagnetic frequencies like that disturb that field. That disturbance causes oxidation or cell suicide or cell senescence. In turn, with consistent usage, now you're talking about large-scale dysregulated immune system and inflammatory responses. And this is real science. And so these are a problem. They're a problem on an electric current level. They're a problem for our eyes. They're a problem for our emotional system. They're a problem for our dopaminergic system. They're a problem for the lack of, they're bringing us convenience, but they're stripping us naked of our God-given faculties.
Do you have boundaries around them?
I do.
What's your boundaries?
I break my boundaries because of work. But my real boundaries would be, I don't touch my phone till I'm up at least for an hour and I've done everything internally. And I don't touch my phone after 7:30, 8 p.m.
Does it go out of the room?
It goes out of the room.
Airplane mode?
Airplane mode, out of the room. And I definitely have my phone completely on Do Not Disturb 24/7. I only have 3 people that can break through in there. And so that's
I have that too.
Yeah, it just
my nanny.
Your phone vibrates the whole podcast. I don't know
when I'm working, I'm not. But I'm saying if I'm
no vibration, no haptic feeling, no sound, no none of that. I don't want that disturbance. My phone is always on the lowest light setting. It turns red automatically at 5 p.m. There's just certain things that you can do.
When you're a kid and your parents aren't plugged into like the cool hip thing that you're plugged into, and you're like, how do you not know about these things? Like, how are you not like into this stuff?
Yeah.
And then you get older and you realize like, oh, I'm that guy now. Like, I know I'm missing, especially I'm in the media business. Like, that's what I do for a living. Like, arguably I should be aware of what's going on TikTok. I have no fucking clue what's going on there.
I feel like I would be turned off.
I don't know who
if I looked over and you were watching trends on TikTok.
Hallelujah.
That's a turn off.
I don't know who the big creators are there. I don't know what they do. I don't know what they create. I don't know what lives there.
You think that's a subconscious self-preservation?
I think it's just like, I think that what it is I've gotten older is I know I could be more successful financially if I paid attention to do that. The same way I could probably be more successful if I lived in New York or LA.
Successful?
I totally disagree with you.
Let me,
it's a distraction.
No, let me say, but I mean financially. Like,
I don't agree with you.
I guarantee if I did certain of these behaviors, that certain areas, quote unquote, would accelerate. Like, you would add more dollars to the top line of a business, the bottom line of my all that.
Yeah.
But I think it comes to your point, Lauren. Now I'll circle around and land the plane and tie it in a bow.
Yeah,
it would come at the expense of me not being happy doing any of these. Like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to spend time figuring out who's doing what on those platforms.
Who gives a shit?
I don't. That's the point.
that's my whole thing. Like, everyone's so caught up in other people's drama and gossip and weird stuff. Like, it's an addiction. It's an addiction that is not serving humanity right now. Like, I get it. There's times where you just want to like do nothing and just receive stuff. We're human. We're in that world right now. I get it. So I'm not trying to like lambaste people for having these like guilty obsessions and stuff like that. But what I'm asking you to is to reflect on it and see, is this really bringing you happiness? Is this really taking you closer to like what how you see yourself living in your full power, why you're here on earth? Is it seeing regurgitated drivel 24/7? I don't know what I despise worse, regurgitated drivel on social media, even if it's health related, or just gossip, trendy nonsense. It's like, but all of it to me is just scattered, and it's a destruction force for humanity.
What I've realized is the biggest flex people used to think like, and I used to think this too, is like, I was like, I spend my money on my time. I think the biggest flex is where you spend your attention.
Yeah.
And I think that when you start monitoring where you spend your attention and your focus, you can literally change your whole life. Because if your attention is spent on a platform negatively looking at everyone else's life all day, that is money. It's a distract. Like,
where your attention goes, your energy flows. Social media, I don't understand it now. You ask me, you don't see me on social media. It's probably because I don't use fear tactics. I spend my energy creating content because I want people to think. I don't want them to react. I want them to think, and I want to drop clues so they can practice their God-given right, which is discernment, and make the choice through the clue, as opposed to me telling them the train is coming, you better jump on, or we're at the 11th hour. Because the whole thing on social media now is you have 3 seconds. You give them the 3-second hook. This is happening. You have candida. How to get rid of parasites. How to get rid of mold in your house. Your brain's falling apart. Your liver you got cirrhosis. Alcohol is doing this to you. It's all freaking, and they're using you. They're using you like vampires to get more likes, to get more shares, so they can sell some marketing bullshit. I'm not doing it. I'm taking a stand.
What's a clue?
A clue is,
Give us a clue about something. What's a clue? Give us a couple clues.
Oh, a clue is like, honestly.
I know what a clue is. I want to know a clue about something.
A clue is like, asking a question, an internal question about yourself, where it will stream into you pulling some type of cord, and all of a sudden the string unravels, and all of a sudden you have this aha moment.
So maybe a clue that you just dropped was, how is TikTok making you feel? And if you start examining that and you start paying attention, that's a clue that could unravel.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Or how are you showing up for people in your life? Like ask yourself, because the whole thing on social media is like, stay away from people that are vampiric, that don't share energy exchange, that only want to use you, that don't want to see the good in you.
Yeah, but how are you showing up?
There you go.
This is a big one. I want to talk about this. I haven't talked about this on the podcast. I noticed that there's like, cut the toxic people, cut the this, cut the that. But if you're surrounded all the time by toxic people, what are you doing to bring that into your life in the first place?
Bingo.
I feel like that people need to look in the mirror instead of project, oh, this person's toxic, this person drains my energy all the time. What are you doing to bring a higher vibration of person towards you?
Yep, that's exactly right. We are, law of attraction's real. Okay, it's not just a fairy tale book. There's an actual DNA resonance field that's created through your alchemy based on how you are living in the energetic body that you are offering inward and outward.
Which is why you've been on the podcast 6 times.
Right.
Go ahead.
There's a good energy match here.
Right.
I have unconditional love for you guys. I have your guys' back.
I'd rather have you on, by the way, than, and I want to say this, I wanted to say this earlier. I'd rather have you on this mic than the top A-list celebrity. I just
Wait,
would.
you're not an A-list celebrity?
No.
I didn't know I was. I didn't know.
I'm just saying, like, I'd
appreciate
rather
that.
the energy that's exchanged.
Unless it's Tom
the
Cruise.
Conversation, unless it's Tom Cruise.
Unless it's Tom Cruise.
No, there's,
then...
if
I like
you
Tom
had
Cruise.
to tell me to pick like between a huge A-list celebrity that's going to say nothing and you, I would 100% pick
it goes.
I appreciate that.
But go
Tom
back.
Cruise.
Am I
then
not
you.
A-list?
I think
What am I?
You're
Tom
A-list
Cruise-
in a different,
I'm
a different category.
totally messing around.
Go ahead with the
If
law
Tom
of attraction.
Cruise ever
I
came on
can't
the
talk about
show-
Tom Cruise. He's been talking about this all day.
Tom Cruise is the GOAT.
He's berserk. I just realized that he does all these stunts. I had no idea. I grew up with
Dude.
Top Gun. I grew up in San Diego. They were filming that over my house when I was like 5.
This is a hill I will die on.
I had no idea.
He's the greatest of all time.
He's the Pantheon.
Because
Pantheon.
if you think about the body of work and the longevity,
it's crazy. Yeah, it's wild. Good
no,
for him.
There's not, you can't name, like, okay, if you see some of these other guys out in the wild, you're like, okay, like you don't see that guy out in the wild.
Yeah.
You don't like hear about him like hanging out. He's the white whale, man.
He really is. I mean, it's incredible what he's doing.
Go ahead with the law of attraction. Go back to what you were saying.
I mean, if you're in poverty conscious, if you're angry at this, if you're, you're living your life in lack and victim and all those stuff, I mean, that's just the type of people you're going to attract. I mean, it's just your like will find its own resemblance through a mirror. And so if you are constantly looking to discard everything around you, you're really not turning inward and seeing exactly how you've seeded this in your life. And that's the deep, like, there's a 9-point death meditation. That's a very, very powerful experience. I've done that. There's ways of doing this where you're like, okay, I'm going to stare in the mirror for the next 24 hours and I'm not going to blink. I'm just going to look myself in the soul. After about 20, 30 minutes, a lot of your bullshit starts to wear off. We got to do this type of work. We're not doing any work. Nobody's doing these things. These practices are all but gone. They're storytells now. We're just so inundated with the material mechanistic way of life that we've lost this connection.
What is your daily meditation practice?
I don't have anything set, but on the rise, I get up, I drink my spring water.
You sun your butthole. Then why are you laughing? You sun it.
Yeah.
But now
I'm waiting for the tutorial.
But now there's studies,
you love that tutorial.
Studies that come out that it actually increases.
Excuse me. We said this on a mic 5 years ago about sunning your butthole. You laughed.
Well, I still laugh.
The audience thought we were crazy. And go for it because everyone's believing it now. Tell us about sunning.
Everyone's doing it now.
Upon rise.
Perennial sunbathing and genital sunbathing. All these things are really powerful. I mean, we've been wearing clothes our whole life. I don't think we were designed to wear clothes. We were supposed to get exposed to the sun. That's why people are getting sunburned, because they've been, away from sunlight so much and they don't have the right nutrients in their body. I can go on and on. So I get sunlight on my body if I go out in the garden. And in the garden, I reflect on the day before. And I really start to put together the pieces of what that day looked like, what brought me love, what brought me joy, what brought me fear, what brought me anxiety, what brought resentment, what brought any envy energy, what brought energies where I feel doubted, all of those things. And I think I talked to you guys about this before. This is a Rosicrucian practice. They actually do it at nighttime before they go to sleep. They replay the day.
Yeah.
And what I found is that this is a self-discipline of getting better and sharpening your blade. And how you do anything is how you do everything. And these are the things that we're missing. We're skipping these things and we haven't learned these muscles. In order to create a muscle and fiber and connection to that fiber, you have to keep doing it.
So you take an inventory.
I take complete inventory. And then now I'm doing stuff for my brain. So you want to get your brain activated, obviously get the right magnesium in your body, get the right choline in your body. But one of the best ways of doing this is to go, okay, well, I'll just try it on you guys right now. Where were you guys last Thursday at 2 p.m.?
The foot spa, probably.
Last Thursday at 2 p.m.
I have no idea.
You have no idea?
I have no idea.
So this is a practice that I'm starting to do.
We're in the studio.
I'm starting to randomly pull dates like that back and just really trying to pinpoint exactly where I was at this certain time. What was I doing?
So it's good for your brain.
It's so good for your brain. And it's so good for your autonomic nervous system. And it's so good for every part of your entire, essence to be able to recall things. This is a really powerful step to becoming a master, to becoming, someone who wants to push their level of peak potential to the highest level. And we're not doing these things. We're not testing these things. We're not pushing ourselves to get a little bit uncomfortable to build fabric.
I love a good t-shirt. I want it soft. I want it buttery. I want it to fit right. I like details. I want it to feel elevated. So enter 7 Diamonds. There is this pocket tee that I got in so many different colors. It's the Model Relaxed Pocket Tee. So the colors that I always go to are navy. I love navy. You can always catch me in navy. I also got the Pebble. And then I got the mocha. I'm currently getting color matched right now, and I'm feeling those are my colors. We'll have to see. I'll keep you posted. You could also get it in black, but the point is this pocket tee is $49 and it just fits right. It's lightweight, it's soft, it's a relaxed fit. It looks really good with a pair of jeans. Casual, it's true to size, it washes well. It's just really, really like a great t-shirt. And I like that it's affordable. 7 Diamonds also has men's t-shirts. I know Michael picked up a few of their t-shirts. He really likes a t-shirt in black or white. You've seen that on the podcast. You've probably seen him wearing 7 Diamonds before. So if you're not chasing trends and you're interested in investing in quality staples that you can mix and match and wear with jeans and just feel casual, but you want something that has the right fit and fabric, you have to check them out. This is the kind of brand that you can invest in and you just keep coming back to for different pieces and colors. Use code SKINNY for 20% off your first order at 7diamonds.com. Again, that's code SKINNY for 20% off your first order at 7diamonds.com. You can also check out the link in our show notes. Trust me, you won't be disappointed. Grab that navy tee.
This episode is brought to you by Squarespace. Squarespace is the all-in-one website platform for entrepreneurs to stand out and succeed online. Whether you're just starting out or managing a growing brand, Squarespace makes it easy to create a beautiful website, engage with your audience, and sell anything from products to content to time, all in one place, all on your own terms. If you're somebody that's been thinking about building that side hustle, building that online business, creating that online profile, building a blog, a newsletter, whatever it may be, now is the time, and Squarespace can help you do so. Quit waiting around. The time is now. Long gone are the days where it's cost prohibitive, where you have to get 18 different people involved and 18 different companies to just stand up a simple website, accept payments, and build your dream life all online. Lauren and I could not be bigger proponents of owning your own persona online, not relying on third parties like these social platforms, and actually controlling your online destiny, whether that's a newsletter, whether that's your website, whether that's your e-com store, if you want to build your own course, your subscription business, Squarespace can help you do all of it. They also now have cutting-edge AI technology with design intelligence that can help you build world-class websites and designs. So like I said, whether you've been looking to build an e-com store, accept payments online, build a course business, or just create a simple blog or newsletter, Squarespace can help you do all of it, all on your own terms, cost-effectively, and all on your own time. So check them out. Quit waiting around. Start that side hustle. Start that business. Start that brand today. Go to squarespace.com for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, squarespace.com/skinny to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Quick break to talk about YNAB. I get so excited talking about ways that you guys can save money, put more money in your pocket. You work hard for it. You should keep more of it. You should spend more of it. You should enjoy more of it. This is why, again, I'm so excited to talk about YNAB. YNAB, spelled YNAB, is a life-changing app that helps you do what you want with the money you have. You'll create a flexible plan for your money through the simple practice of giving every dollar a job, keeping you focused on the life you want. What are you talking about, Michael, you may ask? We recently did an episode with YNAB's founder on this podcast. I highly suggest you go back a few episodes and check it out, or just search YNAB Skinny Confidential, because we talk all about how you can put your money to work for you and put more of your hard-earned money back in your pocket so that you can spend on the things you enjoy. Whether that's covering your mortgage, funding your 401k, or taking that long-awaited trip to Greece, wherever you want to go, with YNAB, you'll stop wondering where your money goes and start deciding where it'll take you. 92% of users report feeling less money stress since using YNAB. And the average YNAB user saves nearly $600 in their first month and $6,000 in their first year. What could an extra $6,000 per year do for you? Life is short. Spend it well with YNAB. Of course, we have an incredible offer. TSE Him and Her Show listeners can claim an exclusive 3-month free trial with no credit card required at www.ynab.com/skinny. Again, that's ynab.com/skinny. Nothing to lose. 3-month free trial with no credit card required.
What's your real supplement situation in the morning? Like your real thing that you're doing when you wake
As opposed to my fake?
No, like give us like what you're doing.
No, because you have so many options at this point.
Don't give us like your like.
So yeah, because by the way,
I mean, like don't give us like your ideal day.
Like
give us like what you're doing.
I saw
normally.
was it today or yesterday? It was either you or the company posted your first product compared to where you guys are now with Cymbiotika.
So beautiful.
It's wild. Like how many SKUs are there now? 30 or so?
Yep.
And so I think what we're asking is,
what are you really taking in the morning?
Like, what are you going, like, what's the routine look like now that you have access to all of those?
Yeah, give us, it's like a science lab, Dexter's
I guess
laboratory.
it's probably different depending on what you're dealing with.
It kind of, it changes, but let's just say I'm just at home and it's spring water, molecular hydrogen, shilajit, and then I'm now hitting the colostrum, and I'm loving that on the rides. And soon I'll be having the new Shilajit.
So with the new Shilajit, will you not have the old Shilajit anymore?
No, we're going to keep that.
You're going to keep it.
Yeah.
Wait, so are you doing any matcha or coffee in the morning?
That comes about an hour and a half after.
Okay.
Yeah, no caffeine till I've already had my cortisol push on the rise. Because if I start interfering caffeine with my rising cortisol, I can mess up my blood glucose. I can cause a little bit more cortisol. I don't want to deal with that.
What's your first meal?
My first meal is, it's a raw egg yolk, 3 egg whites. So
Raw?
I only eat yolks raw. I don't
But
cook.
why only 1 egg yolk?
It's perfect amount. I mean, sometimes it could be 2, but
You just drink it?
Yeah, I just drink it.
So like you
I
pour
crack
it.
the egg, spoon it out, swallow the yolk.
Wow.
It's loaded with growth factors and choline
Then
and
you just
minerals.
cook the eggs.
And you cook the whites. You don't want to eat the whites raw. It has a protein called avidin in there that pulls mainly biotin out of your body.
So you only eat the raw yolk.
Correct.
Got
Yolks
it.
have to be eaten raw. The moment you cook them, it's like turns into a trans fat. It's like lipid oxidation, and you're destroying all its value too.
So you eat the yolk and then you cook the
I cook the whites.
and then you have it plain?
It's Icelandic sea salt, which is now in our products. Did you guys see me in Iceland harvesting the sea salt?
I missed that one. I think Instagram's not serving me your content. Between you with the Peruvian goats and in Iceland doing the sea salt and you're on a hill and
there's a lot going on.
you're in
You guys-
Tibet.
That's actually
It's
coming.
a lot to keep up on.
Yeah, it looks like I'm going to be going to Tibet in a few weeks and showing how we harvest Shilajit. That's a whole thing. But anyways, so that's a little black pepper and that's it. And then I'll have maybe a slice of avocado. And then sometimes I'll have like a lean piece of meat.
How often are you lifting weights in the gym?
3-4 days a week.
And what are you doing on your days off?
I'm hiking, I'm sprinting, I'm doing plyometric work. I'm doing all kinds of cool stuff. Like I'm all over the backyard, and I'm doing animal flow. So I'm like crawling on my hands, functional movements, all of these things. I'm
Animal
loving
flow.
it. Yeah. So when I was in Ibiza at a retreat 1.5 years ago, I linked with a group out there, Primal something, and they do animal flow. So you're going
I did see
back.
you doing that. I did see you doing
You
that.
saw me doing that?
Yeah.
It's so epic. After 3-4 days of that, I couldn't imagine like not doing that anymore. So I'm still keeping it up, but not as much as I should. But it's just, you're going back to your primal nature. You're walking on the ground. You're doing these different types of movements. It's so good for the brain and nervous system. It's, one of those things, like you heard that grip strength is important, right?
Yeah.
Hang. Everybody hang. You also heard that jumping is important, right? The nervous system reaction of jumping off like a box is so good for the entire nervous system and for your bones. Your bones strengthen with stimuli. And so if you're not jumping off things and things like that, you're basically becoming calcified. And this is where osteoporosis comes in. It's not just going into perimenopause and postmenopause and your body leaching the calcium out. It's also, you have to be fit. You got to be moving. All of these things are critical. I'm also doing breath work where I'm holding my breath as long as I can.
What's your breath work? Who do you follow for it? Or you just
Me. I follow me.
I like that.
Yeah. I mean, I studied Qigong. So Qigong is an ancient practice of real, like, valued breath work.
If you had kids right now,
Yeah.
and we've never asked you this question in all the podcasts. If you had kids, what are the pillars that you would think are really important to teach them?
I mean, planting gardens, number one, where food comes from. That's, I think, the most important thing. Also, let me go back to the compassionate inquiry. Having them know that there is a safe place with the parents to be able to tell them anything if something goes wrong.
I think that's so important.
That is huge.
Someone told me too, and this is what we try to do, is instead of just being like, how was your day? Like asking specific questions. Like, for instance, what was your favorite creative part of today? Or
like, what was something that made you smile a lot today?
Yeah, or
what
like
was something
every
what
night
was something that really like hurt your feelings today? So stuff like
we
that.
do rose and thorn, and they'll tell us their rose and their
Yeah.
thorn. And the thorn is a good place, I think, for them to say something that's bothering them.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
of course. It generates the empathetic connection, because it shows that you guys are present and that you're honoring them as beings. Children at age 2 or 3, they're still in like God mode. Their ego is forming. They're in theta. Their brain is technically in theta. From 3rd trimester to age 7, the human child is running on the wave of theta, which is imagination and all of these, different expansive thoughts. They're not in a practical way of thinking. And so if you're dismissing their emotional capacity and it's black or white, they're not able to build that resilience, and they're not able to stretch out that connection with the parents. And so I think that's one of the most important things. Yeah, we can talk about like getting out in the sun and planting gardens and doing all those things. Number one is knowing that there's a safe, loving place and you can talk about anything. That's the most important thing in my opinion, especially as I'm doing this compassionate inquiry.
Last time, or one of the last times I saw you, we were all out to dinner. We were at La Piscina having fajitas, I think pineapple fajitas.
I didn't eat that.
Oh, what did you eat?
I will not eat pineapple with fajitas.
What did you order? What did you order?
No, we had steaks.
I think I had steaks.
Oh, excuse me. I was eating pineapple fajitas and I was the only one having margaritas.
Yeah, I wasn't drinking.
And no, I wasn't pregnant, so don't go on Reddit and talk about it. But so when we were all together, you were not drinking. Are you still not drinking? What's your energy on alcohol?
I've had a few glasses of wine and maybe a mezcal in the last like 9 months.
So it's like intentional drinking.
Yeah, it's celebratory drinking and it's done with intention around it. It's not unconscious drinking, and I'm not drinking. I didn't have a drink because I needed to have a drink. It was just part of the experience, and I wasn't going to hold back. Plus, Shahab's always given me really epic wine, and always.
I bet Shahab has some really good wine.
He's got great wine, and so I just alcohol is not my elixir. It's not my medicine.
What's your elixir?
It's another
maybe
podcast.
another time, but it's
Toad.
Toad. Yeah, that's exactly it.
Ozempic.
Oh, no.
Yeah, you have to tell us about what you think about it.
We've already talked about this.
No, we haven't. Not on the podcast. Only off air.
Okay. I mean, it's interesting. It's kind of a tragedy in ways, because we've gotten to this point where we have to inject something that elicits that type of response so people stop eating. But I understand that we have a sick population. And this might be a bridge to get them into a better metabolic state, because metabolic syndrome is a real thing.
It's a tough one, huh?
It's a tough one. I mean, it leads, and everything we're talked about today has to do with metabolic syndrome. Movement, lifting weights, hydration, the way we sleep, they're all part of the same chain. If those things aren't factored, then you're going to have metabolic problems. The foods we're eating, the food combinations, on and on. GLP-1 is, I saw this whole thing where if GLP-1 was used through microdosing, there's actually it's a more strategic way of getting more bang for your buck without the harm that it is causing. And so again, I'm very careful with this because I know that there's a lot of people that are using this. I think intention is everything. If you are someone that for whatever reason you just cannot get yourself up to lose that 40, 50, 60, 100 plus pounds, and your endocrine system is completely almost shut down, and you're have crazy insulin resistance, and you're whatever type you are, I don't know what level of diabetes you have, this might be a potential solution to save your life. Other than that, get your ass moving. Stop eating 6 meals a day, 15,000 steps, lift some weights. Don't eat right when you get out of bed. Track your glucose. As soon as you wake up, insulin, what is insulin? It's a powerful hormone. It's insulating information into your cell. That's what insulin stands for. Like, we have to understand these things. I think the lack of knowing what our bodies are made of and how they work is a problem.
Well, this is what I was saying earlier. It's like we've, again, going back to we get called woo woo, but I think people have gotten so far away from our intuition and knowing like what, like I get a lot of, Lorna says I'm not attached to food. That's not true. I love food, but I'm intuitive enough with myself to know like when something is not great or when I've had enough or when I'm overdoing it.
If insulin resistance was a person, you are the opposite of the person.
But my point is like I listen to the signals of my body.
Yeah.
I eat something and I'm like, that doesn't sit right. Or I do something and I'm like, I shouldn't do that again. Or I you know what I mean? Like, or if I'm not moving my body the right way, I can I pay attention to the signals.
I've never seen you overeat.
This is key.
I don't overeat.
The intuitive self and the intuitive gnosis is the most important thing. We talked about with children is help them build their intuition without drowning them with control, right? That's like the Waldorf method. It's all about intuition, all about the connection, all about making direct observation. And that's really important with food because we're not intuitive eaters. We've lost the intuition and that leads towards metabolic problems, which leads towards cystic acne and bloating.
Don't you think we've lost intuition though in a lot of things?
It's not just intuition. You were talking earlier about being able to communicate when you get close with someone like non-verbally.
Yeah, psychically,
And if you look at animals that are close together, like they don't speak, obviously they communicate non-verbally. As we evolved as a people, you're in these tribes, you're able to signal to people non-verbally because you had to be, if you need to be quiet, if there's predators, if there's danger around. Like there's human beings have this intuition. We're animals at the end of the day, but you lose it because you start to block and ignore all these signals.
Or we've overused the signals because we're constantly in a state of fear and pain and dysregulation. Remember the book I told you guys to read, Why Zebras Don't Get Ulcers? Do you guys remember that whole thing? Like the zebra, as soon as the lion stops chasing it, its entire endocrine system and its nervous system goes back to balance. Yet human beings are constantly in the flux of the acid bath of adrenaline. And that's burning through our adrenal system. It's burning through our body. It's burning our entire endocrine system, our lymph system. Now it's just like cascading and we're just searching for a pill or some type of therapy.
I just got my hands on the cutest summer bag. I could not find it anywhere. It was sold out on every single site. And finally, of course, I found it on The Real Real. The Real Real is attainable luxury that upgrades your personal style. So basically, it's a place where you can find a really special piece. Maybe it's sold out and they have it on there. I have found the most gorgeous vintage vests on there. I found handbags. I have found a wallet. And now I found my summer bag. I'll show it to you on Instagram story. It's kind of like straw. It's by the road. It's so chic. And I will be carrying it everywhere this summer, especially with a new baby in tow. So how I found out about The Real Real was I started selling my own clothes on the site. And then I started just stocking everything that they were doing. And I could not believe it. So if you're looking for like a dress for a wedding this summer, or maybe a really good vacation sandal, they just have really special pieces. And you can get a deal. I have found some really good deals on there. And most importantly, everything that The Real Real sells is authenticated. And it's authenticated in person by luxury and fashion experts. I am a big fan of The Row. They have some Chanel pieces. You got to go shop. The Real Real is the world's largest and most trusted resource for authenticated luxury resale. With thousands of new arrivals daily, no one does resale like The Real Real. And now get $25 off your first purchase when you go to therealreal.com/skinny. That's therealreal.com/skinny to get your $25 off. Start shopping now at therealreal.com/skinny. Make sure the URL is all lowercase. That's therealreal.com/skinny.
Let's take a quick break to talk about Policy Genius. Let's be real, you're juggling career, kids, self-care, spreadsheets, and so much more, but there's something most people overlook. I know that I overlooked this for many years. Nearly half of American adults say they would suffer financial hardship within 6 months without their primary income earner. That's not just stressful, it's preventable. Life insurance might sound boring, but trust me, it's a powerful part of your financial wellness plan, and Policy Genius makes it chic, simple, and totally on your terms. When Lauren and I started having children, we looked around and realized if something were to happen to one of us without a plan in place, it would be really stressful for the other. Why not put a plan in place now while we're young, while we're able, and make sure that our loved ones will be taken care of in the event of an absolute tragedy? Again, nobody likes to talk about these things. They're uncomfortable, but they're so important. What we love about Policy Genius is it makes finding and buying life insurance simple, ensuring that your loved ones have a financial safety net they can use in case something happens to you, whether to cover debts and routine expenses or even to invest the money and earn interest over time. You can compare quotes from top insurers and find coverage that fits your needs and your budget. And with Policy Genius, you can find life insurance policies starting at just $276 a year for $1 million in coverage. It's an easy way to protect the people you love and feel good about the future. Like I said, this is an uncomfortable topic, thinking about the absolute worst, but having that peace of mind, knowing that your loved ones will be taken care of if something happens, working with a company like Policy Genius is so important, and it's such great peace of mind. So if you're all about taking control of your health, your schedule, your finances, this belongs on your to-do list. Head to policygenius.com/skinny to compare quotes and to get the coverage you need, because being financially protected, that's the ultimate self-care. Again, that's policygenius.com/skinny.
How is my skin? You know what? This sunscreen, it's caffeinated, it's mineral, and it does not pile under makeup. I applied it today with a damp beauty blender before I got my glam done, and it lays so nicely under like a foundation or a concealer. But here's the thing that I like the most about it. So when I'm off work and when I don't have to do podcasts or Instagrams or content, or I just can just be comfortable, I can wear this caffeinated sunscreen and I still get a really nice tint and a protection, and it looks like my skin is all one even tone, which is nice, without all the makeup. It's not like a foundation. It's like the caffeine tightens your skin. It gives you a nice even tone, and it just gives you a little bit of color. So what I like about this sunscreen is the versatility. So you can wear it when you're off and you're running around and you're running errands and wear it with nothing over it, or you can wear it like I'm wearing today right now with foundation and concealer over it. So it works both ways. I will wear this when I'm going to the gym in the morning and just wear it throughout the day with nothing else, or I will wear it with a full look. I created this sunscreen because I couldn't find a mineral-based sunscreen with caffeine in it. Caffeine tightens the skin, it shrinks the pores, and I just like how it lays on the skin. And I mixed it with a mineral sunscreen, and then we made it SPF 40. So it's a real treat. I think that you guys will absolutely love it. It just comes out in a pump, fits in your handbag, and it can go through the airport. You can shop this at shopskinnyconfidential.com, and it's the caffeinated SPF. Also, if you're like me and you go through sunscreen quickly, you can subscribe, and the sunscreen will get delivered straight to your door, so you don't have to worry about it. That's shopskinnyconfidential.com.
There's something that you specifically said to me maybe the first time we met, and I've never been able to get away from it since, which was about scent and how we use all these things to mask scents and ignore, like, why does your body smell bad?
I remember that.
Why do you have to put this in the car to make your car, like, what we do is we don't, our bodies are signaling, hey, you're sick or there's something going on. And you're like, I don't want to smell that, so let me mask it. And that's a perfect example of just getting away from our intuition. Is like
multi-quadrillion, is that a number? Quadrillion industry on masking all of these things.
You walking by the perfumes in the airport kills me.
Dangerous.
But ever since you told me that, I'm like, that's 100% right.
Just the mentality of covering up something, covering up the blemish, covering up the smell, covering up the candida rotting inside of you. That's like, it's the whole thing. Like, we're masking the symptom to hide.
I think about it in everything. Like, why does your breath smell? It's because there's something going on.
It's halitosis. Halitosis isn't going to cure from, breath mints, or using some crazy sterilization Listerine, which wipes out your entire oral microbiome, so your body cannot manufacture nitrates, so you can't produce nitric oxide, which you need for vasodilation and circulation. Look, I can go on and on and on, team. This is. I
think we've done it.
Yeah, it's.
I have a couple things.
Yeah.
What's an unpopular opinion? Your most unpopular opinion at this moment?
My most unpopular opinion. We don't need the government to tell us what's toxic in our food. It's not like this whole thing. Like, I know you have a guest coming on here, and that's incredible.
We have all different kinds of guests.
Yeah,
you never know what you're going to get.
It's just like the whole thing around, red dye and all of these things. Like, I'm sorry, like, we got to be human beings and be able to discern what we should put in our body and what we shouldn't. And I don't need some corrupt falling apart government, and I'm just thinking government in general. I'm not talking about the new administration at all.
I have rapid fire questions.
Well, we're up on time.
I know.
Quick,
these are quick ones. Ready? You have to answer them in like a sentence.
Okay.
Weirdest biohack you've ever tried?
Full body ozone rectally.
Didn't you try stem cells in your dick, or was that not you?
No comment.
What's the first thing you do when you wake up, right when you open your eyes?
I thank God and I send the love to my father.
Sauna or cold plunge?
Sauna.
Same.
Favorite philosophy quote?
Oh, God. That's a tough one.
This is a tough one to just rip off the top of your head.
There's so many. What is my favorite philosophy quote?
Mine's everything's happening for you.
Everything's happening for you. I like that.
You want to make God laugh, tell him your plans.
That's not a philosophy.
I like that too.
Last thing you
really
Googled besides porn.
He doesn't watch porn.
I don't watch porn.
I know, I'm just kidding. That was a test.
Uh-huh.
You see that? He doesn't watch porn.
What's the weather in Austin?
That's a little vanilla, really?
I think that's the last thing I Googled.
I feel like your Google history is berserk.
I'd stay off Google.
Okay. Who would play you in a movie?
I don't know. Who's a epic, heart open Renaissance man who can pass as being a full-blooded Persian?
Well, I would let you have Tom Cruise, but I need to reserve him for me.
No, you're Tom Cruise.
Yeah, I got to keep Tom Cruise for me because
Are you guys the same height? What Cymbiotika product is the most underrated?
All of them, but our new Shilajit is going to change the world. It's going to change the world.
One word or one sentence to describe the colostrum.
Magic.
You love the colostrum.
Okay.
It's a game changer because that colostrum is full spectrum,
Okay.
non-denatured, and it's loaded with lactoferrin,
And
which everyone needs, especially women.
Well, this is, I think we should let's talk about Cymbiotika before you go. It's very exciting. Lauren has joined your advisement board.
This is very exciting. I'm really honored. And I know that Shahab and Durana are extremely stoked on that, as is the entire Cymbiotika family. You know how I feel about you. And to have you involved intimately with where we're at and what we're doing is just, it's just epic. So.
It's funny because I use our partnership whenever I'm talking to other brands, because what's been so great about our partnership is all these brands want one night stands with me.
Yeah.
They want to fuck me, get it in and leave. And that's not the way it works. I need a marriage. I need a 360 partnership. And that's the reason that our partnership has been so successful, is because I'm a genuine fan. I give it to my kids. My husband takes it. I give it to my parents. I like love the product. I also love the founders, and I'm just so excited to be asked to be on the advisor board.
Well, here's the thing, doing what we do, you meet a lot of people, and it's hard sometimes to discern who's doing it for the right reasons. Like,
oh my God, that's going to be the new word.
No, it's not hard.
It's not. It's hard. It's harder than you'd think.
That's an affirmation.
It's harder than you'd think.
Not what I would say.
But we've known you guys. We've known you guys for so long, and I know how passionate all of you are about this, especially you, Durana and Shahab. And like I said, like, we not only take all of these ourselves, but our children, our friends. Like, it's been a great partnership. But this is, I think, like, an interesting evolvement. And it's funny, like, when I talk about the brand on the show, and I try to like condense it into 60 seconds to talk like on a read or whatever, I'm like, well, like,
you can't do it.
You can't do it. It's too much.
We're dynamic.
Yeah.
We're expansive. The ideation is built on intention. It comes from a foundation of real groundbreaking mechanisms to give people literally supplements that are now food. We're breaking ground on new liposomal technology right now. All of our products are being upgraded. No one's doing this. Nobody's spending the time and discipline and the R&D on really rebuilding the brand. We just brought in my new sidekick. I'm gonna give her a shout out, Dr. Shilpa Rout, PhD. She's my new sidekick. She's epic. The fact now that I'm like coming into form with this level of sophistication, we're really hitting the ground running. And again, it's all done with like going and bringing and securing the best raw materials on earth. I literally just got back from Iceland. We brought the cleanest, plastic-free, most diverse salt on earth, and it's in our products. Like it's actually in our products. Like
That's what's in
who
this
does that?
Because you guys are giving a code to everyone, I want to go around the room real quick and just say what product you would start with. I'll go first. I'm loving the elderberry pregnant.
Okay.
I've had it every single day, and I either have it just in my mouth or I put it in sparkling water.
Nice.
And it's so good in sparkling water. I froth it up.
Yep.
It's delicious. So
Yep.
that's my pick. You got to try the elderberry.
Well, it's going to be hard for me to pick one. I think you have the best glutathione.
Yeah.
Period.
Ever.
Period. Period.
With PQQ.
Yeah. I take
Okay.
it. I think am I overdoing? I take like sometimes like 2 a day.
No, I did 6 one day and I was just lit.
Okay. So I'm fine.
Yeah. Because it's glutathione. It's a tripeptide that your body makes, your liver makes, right? It's part of that whole system.
It's timely right now. And obviously like vitamin D has been shown to longevity. I think you guys have one of the most complete formulas, liposomal with the
My kids love it. They call it yellow and red.
I love that.
They want yellow
the
and
red being the beef
Yeah.
complex.
They're
I don't
like-
know, I could go on and on.
The bees, which we also have the most active forms in there, is now going to be coming in a packet soon.
Ooh.
Oh, I like that.
And the D3K2 CoQ10 with both forms of K2, MK7 and MK4 are also coming in a packet soon. So it's just our magnesium is turning into a complex. It's like a game changer after game changer. Oh, I remember my my quote. Your true self is immaterial. Your conscious is ethereal. It pre-exists your body and transcends the material.
Wow.
Well, Jesus Christ.
a little better than ours. All right.
Before you go and we give the
Wait,
code.
you have to tell
what's your come on,
product.
you have to pick one baby.
Someone
Go.
that's a new user, or a new customer, someone that's
No,
an
just
old
give
customer.
them your favorite.
Colostrum. I
Okay.
mean,
Colostrum.
it's mother's milk.
Liquid colostrum.
and it's never been done. It's absolutely the best. But
Michael gets real colostrum soon.
our new Shilajit, yeah, that's great. Our new Shilajit, especially when you're eating these things, our new Shilajit, let me just say this. This is sourced from high altitude mountains in the Himalayas with Peruvian cacao, organic cacao, pure cacao, with organic honey, with Icelandic sea salt, and organic hazelnut butter. This is all coming together. This is like ancient mystic materials coming together in a modern experience with no weird preservative system, no flavor bullshit. This is real. What you tasted right now, that is its authentic
It's really good.
expression. How good was that? And that is vital for every cell in your body.
Open invite anytime. You know that. Guys, check it out. Cymbiotika.com/TSC for 20% off your order and free shipping. Try all 30 products or just a few.
Where
You do that pretty good, dude. That was like
Where can
I've done
everyone
it before.
Where can everyone find you?
in their heart.
Okay.
When they turn out the light and close up the dark, and when they turn off the lights and in the dark, I'm there.
Listen,
Thug eternal through my heart.
Shereen,
That's a Tupac line.
I love you, but I'm not.
That's a Tupac
I don't want to
line.
close off the lights and see you there. All right, it's just not that I don't love you, but
Well, we can't find you on Instagram
That
because
was
they blocked you. So
Yeah, that
find
was
you?
a Tupac line. Instagram's the only place.
Instagram.
Thank you, buddy.
Shereen333.
You're the
Love
best.
you guys.